See how to create a request for quotation in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. So in this video, we are going to see only the generic process. We are not going to get into the details of vendor collaboration, bidding and all, but we will see at a general process flow for how to generate a request for quotation in Dynamics 365 and update it and convert it into a standard purchase order, right? So to create a request for quotation, go to procurement and sourcing module, request for quotation, and click on request for quotation. And here click on new. Once you click on new, you need to select the purchase type. Here the purchase type can be either purchase order or purchase agreement. You cannot select the purchase requisition because from purchase requisitions you can directly create a request for quotation, and all those which are created through purchase requisitions are already tagged in the RFQ page. So if you want to create it through purchase requisition, then you need to navigate to purchase requisition, and for which I have already shared a document. Please check it in my LinkedIn page. So in this video, we are going to create a RFQ using a purchase type purchase order, right? So we want to convert it into a purchase order. So I give a site and warehouse, then I hit the OK button. Once I click on OK button, a separate RFQ ID is created. So in this RFQ ID, I need to add the item number for which I want to receive the quote from my vendors. So let's say for this is the item for which I want to receive the quote. So I give a quantity as 1,000. That is the quantity which I am willing to purchase, and I am willing to purchase it at maybe um, 6 rupees in INR or $6. So I wish to purchase this in a quantity of 1,000 in with a unit price of 6. Okay, so I hit the save button, and it says field color must be filled in, right? So all the product dimensions need to be filled, especially the site, values and color. So I select the color and then I hit the save button. So now this is saved. Now I need to select the vendor to whom I need to send this particular quote, right? So in order to select the vendor, go to header section, and in the header section there is a first tab called vendor. So you need to add the list of all the vendors to whom you want to send this particular quote, for with whom you want to receive the quote, sorry, from whom you want to receive the quote. So I am trying to add this sky bag. I will add one more vendor also, and then I will also add maybe one more vendor, for three vendors maybe, so that it will be useful for comparing the request for quotes. So I have added the quotes, and you can see now the send button is enabled. If the vendors are not added, this send button will be disabled. Maybe you can rewind the video and you can check it, because the send button might be disabled. Now this is enabled. Now I save this request for quote, and I can send this request for quote. Now system is telling me that we are asking for a quote from these three vendors and against this particular item number. I click on OK. So this will process the request for quotation in Dynamics 365 and generate all the generated requests can be viewed in the request for quote journals. And if we have the provision for vendor collaboration, then the vendors can do the bidding from the request for quotation bid in the vendor collaboration module. But if they don't have vendor collaboration module access, then in that case the purchasing manager or the sourcing manager can take a copy of this request for quote, discuss with the respective vendors over phone call or send an email, and receive the respective offers from them, right? So this is the standard process which any of the sourcing managers will do. So after getting the replies from them, the sourcing managers need to go to manage replies. Once they go to manage replies, they can view all the list of vendors to whom this quote has been sent. You can see the reply progress not started. So here user has to click on edit RFQ reply, and let's say we have received the quote from uh, Lee India. So here we can see that the quantity unit, how much unit we want, and if there is any discount, we can give the discounts also. This section covers the our requested amounts, and this will be the replies which vendors are giving, right? So here, let's say for those, I'm 100 quantity, I'm willing to give a price of 1.10. Okay. So, and then I submit the code. You can also decline the code. That is also possible. Like, we can look into that particular scenario also in this case. And let's say the other code from Compact. So here in this case, if I go to edit RFQ reply and I update that for Compact, I am willing to give 100 quantity at the unit price of 0.20. So they have shared a code for 0.20 and then we submit it. So as you can see, the purchaser is updating it. Otherwise, you will be able to see that the vendor, when the vendor collaboration portal is done, you will see instead of submitted by vendor purchaser, it will be submitted by vendor. It is not submitted by the purchaser. And the third case for Skypag is not willing to take up our offer. So they are declining this quote. So you can click on decline. But once if the decline is submitted, you cannot revert it back. So make sure that you get the proper communication from vendors and then decline the quotes. Okay, so now we save this, we go back. So we got the replies from the vendors. Now, as a sourcing manager, I want to compare the replies. So once I hit the save button, the compare replies option is enabled. So I can go to compare replies. So we got the quotes from two vendors. So there is a header and line section for both. So if there are multiple lines, all those lines will be available over here. So I feel that instead of going ahead with this particular quote, I wish to go ahead with 0.10 because of the cost competitiveness. So I select this particular line and I accept this quote, right? So once we accept this quote, we will not be able to reject it. So we need to recheck the details for the purchase quantity, net amount, and then I click on OK button. Once the quote is accepted, immediately Dynamics 365 creates a purchase order for the quote. And it's also saying that you want to reject this quote, right? You have accepted the quote, but the other quote you want to reject it. So it automatically opens up the page to reject the quote. So here also I'm clicking on OK to reject the quote. Goes for quote reject. So this quote will be rejected. And now if I go back and click on save button, here you can see that the lines. So the lowest status is rejected and the highest status is declined because there is a quote from the vendor um, which we have declined, and also there is a quote which we have rejected. So it shows the lowest and the highest statuses and the corresponding quantity what we have for which we have raised the request for quote. Now if I go back to accounts payable all purchase orders, here there is a purchase order which is generated for Lee India because that is the code which we have actually accepted, and a purchase order for 100 quantity with the price as given by the vendor 0.10 is created. So this is the general process or basic process of creating a request for quote in Dynamics 665 and converting it into a purchase order. So what we did is basically we created the request for quotation in procurement and sourcing, and then we send the file over, assuming that we have sent the file over email to the respective vendors. We got the replies and we managed those replies in the respective RFQ ID, and then we can compare the replies which is the best quote from the vendors, and then once if we accept it, the respective accepted quotes will be converted into purchase orders. And then we can follow the usual process of procure to pay. So that's a quick video on understanding the general process of request for quotation in Microsoft Dynamics 365, and hope you have had a good learning today. Thank you.